Hey guys, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here to hang out tonight, or if you're watching the recording, I hope you find this short time together helpful and motivating and exciting for 2019. I'm pumped for this year. I don't know if you guys feel it, if you feel this like becoming happening on our team. I feel a lot of people who are coming into their own and excited about what they've got going on and building new things and getting more creative, and I'm just excited. It's going to be a really good year. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you and open my slides. And yeah, we're just going to chat a little bit about your business for this year to come. And there's a couple of parts where you might want to write something down. So if you have a notebook or can open your notes on your computer or whatever to type out some stuff, make sure you have that handy too. There's just a little bit of stuff to look at. Cool. Well, thanks guys for being here tonight. All right, I feel like I haven't shared with you in a while. Christmas was a wash, and then last week was crazy for us. It's good to be together. Okay, so let's just jump right in. Where are you going? We often think in this business, we make plans and we have goals, but you really cannot go to a place if you don't know where that place is. I'm all about, if you know me, I'm not a goal setter. I am adaptability is one of my top 5 strengths. So I'm a very go with the flow kind of a person. But at the same time, I've realized that creating a vision and really like setting my sights on where I'm headed has helped me in huge ways. So anytime I've seen a successful achievement, accomplishment in my life and in my business, it's always been because of that I have this really clear picture about what's coming into play. And so when I'm evaluating where I'm going, I've also learned that I need to evaluate all the things that are stopping me. So what are the roadblocks that I'm going to encounter on that journey to that destination? So I want you guys to kind of write down just really like a quick idea of where you're going in this business. It can be super detailed if you want it to be, or it can just be this kind of like vague goal. It can be rank related, it can be financial, but like, where are you headed? It doesn't have to be the end destination, it can be your next destination, but whatever feels right to you right now. What is on your heart? What do you feel like you want to write down as where you're going? Where are you going? And just kind of like ponder that for a minute. What is the destination you want to get to? Like, if you're doing this business, it's obviously for a purpose. It's not just to waste time in your life so that you don't have to face other realities, right? There's a reason that you're doing this. And there's hopefully a goal. So if I was writing it, I would write something like presidential diamond, retire my husband. Those would be like things I know I'm going towards. Paul might not agree, but we're getting there. We're getting there. He had a month off over Christmas, and now he's tasted the good life. All right. Now I want you guys to write down some of the things that are your stumbling blocks that could happen along the way, things that you anticipate running into that are difficult for you. Maybe it's lack of skills in certain areas. Maybe you know you're going to run out of a network eventually. Write down some of those things. What are the things that are going to keep you from getting there? Don't get too specific now. We're going to dive in a little bit more on the next slide. But just like write down a couple, like 3 things maybe. Some things that you anticipate as being like a roadblock. Now, if you're doing a legitimate business, which I hope you feel this is a business for you, there should be like an annual review. I feel like in a legit business, your boss would come and ask you some questions, or some person from HR, and they would, kind of run through like, how is it going? What are your numbers like? Are you meeting your quotas or goals or whatever? Are you doing these things? And when it's our own business, we don't necessarily think to do that, maybe because it's uncomfortable, we don't feel like it, but we don't do that self-review, which can be really important. So we're going to take a minute to reflect on some of the things that we are letting go of because it's a self-accountable business. So I've seen this happen a lot, and I'm not pointing fingers. This is also me. Sometimes these are some things that pop up in my day, in my doTERRA life, and I know can be a hindrance to being really successful. So most of the time, we are not running this like a real business. If you treated it like a real business, you'd probably be working at this doTERRA gig 40 to 80 hours a week, right? If you had your own business, you are completely engaged in it. You've like jumped in with both feet and you're in it, and you're going to make sure that it works because it's sink or swim. But when it comes to doTERRA, I see myself and I see a lot of people who just don't make the hours. So they're not showing up for work. They're not clocking the hours. Potentially, we don't have a business plan. Maybe some of you are great planners, so this is not necessarily for everyone. Sometimes we don't have any written goals. Sometimes we don't make projections. Have you ever made a like income projection? Like for 2019, my income is going to be this. And you work the steps that you need to do to make sure that your income goes in that direction. Most businesses do make income projections. I know this because I watched Dragon's Den. Yeah? Anyone else like to watch business TV? Shark Tank? Dragon's Den? I actually know very little about business outside of doTERRA, but they all have these projections, and I was like, how come we don't do that in our business? We also don't have accountability. We don't have annual performance reviews. We don't necessarily hire any help or enough help if you have hired some things out.
What do you need to get?
And we let our excuses guide us.
Why do you need that for sleeping?
Okay, if you are not muted, maybe just check. Participants, that's how I do it. You all. We're good, we're good. So just do this temperature check. I mean, it's February now because I had to delay our call, but I find January such a good time to do this self-reflection and thinking for the year to come. We probably have the best of intentions of doing it in December and preparing for the following year, but let's be honest, Christmas and New Year's, we're busy and we don't think about these things, and you're allowed to take a few weeks off from this business, right? You're allowed to have that downtime. But come January, you're usually like, okay, well, how do I get back into this? How do I move forward? Where am I going? And this is such a good time to reflect on the year you had and to really plan and dive into the year ahead. So I want you guys to do some rating. Rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in these areas. So if you want to take a screenshot of this and you can kind of slowly work through it, feel free to do that. Take a quick photo with your phone or take a screenshot on your computer and rate yourself. If you think of more categories, you can write some of those things down too. But this was just some basics that I thought we can really reflect on for this year. So how good are you at creating a vision for the future of your business, for setting goals, for implementing action steps to actually reach that goal, for scheduling yourself for the month, the calendar month, for each week, for each day? And do you hold yourself accountable to your schedule and your to-do list? Are you good at making excuses from not doing those things, or are you really good at getting that stuff done? How good are you at making new contacts so you can expand your network? How good are you at sampling oils and to new people or to existing friends, contacts? Follow up. booking classes and one-on-ones, teaching classes, supporting and educating your customers, leading your downline, if you have one. Some of you may not be there yet, that's okay. Getting creative, thinking outside the box to reach people in new ways, showing up consistently. So just take a minute to kind of go through those things. And once you've done that, once you have them all ranked, like 1 to 10, how good are you? 1 being terrible, 10 being I'm a rock star. Then you're going to go through them and maybe circle your like most needs improvement, your worst 3. You can pick 3 to 5 if you want. And then those are going to be some of the things that likely need improvement. You'll often notice a trend between those 3 things too. A lot of times they're related to the same block or the same level of belief that you have in yourself or your business or your people. And you'll kind of be able to zero in a little bit on what's going on in your business right now, if you can kind of rate yourself in these areas. So do you guys all have a screenshot of this? You can do this separately. I can change the slide. Okay, so write down, it says top 3 to 5 things you want to work on, but that would be your bottom, those worst things from the previous list, or other things. So if I didn't include something on the list that you really want to move forward with getting better at, you want to improve this year, write those down, top 3 to 5 things. So I wrote mine down. What are some things that I want to improve this year? I want to set goals. So last year, I had a few people who would ask me things like, when's your blue diamond date? And my answer to them was, I don't know. I was very reluctant to put dates on anything, to set goals. I was very happy with my business. It was very consistent, but not growing. So consistent was great. I am very thankful that my business continued last year the way that it did the previous year, but it was not growing exponentially like it had in the past. It was not like exploding like I had thought it would. And so I learned that doTERRA is really amazing. Our retention rate keeps and sustains our business, and that is a real thing, and you guys will definitely enjoy that as you move up in rank and grow your unilevel earnings. But I also learned that if you don't set goals and you don't push yourself and you don't implement those action steps, that it's not going to continually move on its own. You can't expect it to just go. Not to say I didn't try. I definitely did a lot of amazing, cool new things last year that I'm really proud of. But this year is going to be better. So the ones that I'm going to work on this year are goal setting, implementing action steps, scheduling. I can't believe I'm admitting that to you guys because I hate scheduling. But even though it's not my strength, I know that in order to be more self-disciplined and more using my time more efficiently rather than constantly redoing the same things over and over again or getting lost in planning mode and not like zeroing in order to be really efficient, I have to get better at scheduling. I have to get better at that whole thing. And so you have to find a way to do it within your strengths, right? You cannot make yourself be strong at things that your strengths don't dictate to. So if you, for like example, if you don't have self-discipline as a strength, it's number 33 out of 34 for me, which means it's way down at the bottom. You have to find ways that make it work for you. So I am creating what I call a flexible schedule so that I can have freedom within my schedule to do certain things, but at the same time, I have a more consistent schedule. I also want to get more creative this year and do different things. And my word for the year is consistency. For me, it's all about just showing up for my business day after day after day after day and being super consistent. And that is more important to me than anything else. Okay, so write down why some of these things are hard for you. So I kind of gave you my perspective and why it's hard for me. I hate the schedule because since I was a little kid, I've always hated being told what to do. I literally just like to be the boss and be in charge and be in control. So when my schedule tries to control me, it makes me very angry. I know it sounds crazy. It sounds insane, but that's something that I've learned about myself and I'm growing through. So write down why they're hard for you. Why are these things difficult? So maybe something that you wrote down, holding yourself accountable. Maybe you thought, I need to do better at that this year. I give myself these to-do lists and then I ignore them because I have lunch date or I have other things on my plate, or my only work time is at night and I'm too tired by that point, so I just don't. Whatever it is, holding yourself accountable, you know what the answer to that is, and you know why it's hard for you. If you aren't very good at holding yourself accountable, you need somebody else to hold you accountable. And as much as it sucks, you need to partner yourself up with somebody who's going to hold you accountable and make you do the things, right? So if you identify why these things are hard for you, it's going to be a lot easier for you to walk through them and improve them. So then write down, what are the things that you're going to focus on this year? What are the things you're going to improve in 2019? What are things that you know are blocks currently? Maybe you don't like public speaking. Maybe you don't like meeting new friends. You don't like awkward conversations. What are some things like that you're like, okay, I know these are hard for me, but I want to do better. It doesn't mean you'll be the best. It just means that you want to improve them, right? So think about it in your business, what's working and what needs improvement. So it's so important for you to think about both of those things, because if you don't take time to celebrate your successes and all the good stuff, the stuff that you're really good at, you're going to be really hard on yourself. And that's not the purpose of this call. I don't want you to be like, oh my word, I have so much crap that I have to work on. I want you to also take a moment to think about what you are killer at, the things that you own, the things that when you need to do those things, it's easy for you to show up for them because you like them. The things that have made your business worth doing because you are lit up by them, the things that give you the passion. So write down some of that stuff too and celebrate those things. When you do have an achievement in your business, celebrate those small goals and small wins, because that's really important in your whole process. So how do we improve? How do we get better? How do we move from a place of seeing our lack, seeing our blocks, seeing the road obstacles, to a place where we're on our way to do better and be better? So I want you to be careful not to operate outside of your strengths. So I don't pretend to be somebody who is a maximizer or futuristic or a high achiever. Those are not my strengths. But that doesn't mean that I can't have goals. It doesn't mean that I can't see a future and have a vision for my success. But for me, it's less about the goal and less about the end game and more about the relationships that I'll build along the way, the people that I'll impact, the difference that I'll make. And that is what motivates me to go and do and make goals, right? Because I know I'm going to be helping people. So I have to build it within a framework of my own strengths. So you need to do that too. If you have never done the Strengths Finder, I encourage you to do it. As a doTERRA builder, when you do the Strengths Finder, you have access to a wealth of resources that are geared specifically for your strengths. So once you find out what your top 5 strengths are, you can go to doTERRA.com and watch a video on your strength and then learn how to implement your strength in your doTERRA business. So it's really helpful. So go to Gallup Strengths Finder. You can just Google that. Gallup, Gallup, Strengths Finder. And there's a test you can take for $20, and it'll tell you what your top 5 strengths are. If you don't want to spend the $20 on the test alone, you can purchase the book. and it's called Clifton Strengths Finder. And it comes with a code to do your Strengths Finder for free, and then you can read about it in the book. So that's a great way to get your test for a little bit cheaper or more money efficient. I don't know what you call that. So once you know your strengths, work within them to improve your business. You get to do this your way. You get to be you. You get to be unique. You get to do this however it works for you on your time, on your schedule. But that doesn't mean you can stop. You can do this your way, but you still have to do it. So make it non-negotiable that you have these things on your calendar and on your agenda that you're going to do, and they're not the first thing to go as soon as life gets hard. It's not like, well, I've got too much on my plate this week. doTERRA is first off the list. Make it something that is more important to you so that when it's high on your priorities list, you're more likely to show up for it. Set yourself up for success by making goals that are achievable. We've heard of SMART goals. I actually didn't write down what they stand for, but realistic, achievable, I don't know what they all are. But look up SMART goals if you want to know what that stands for. But just make sure that your goal is something that you're capable of doing. So if you've just started your business, maybe don't put your goal as presidential diamond, because that will seem really far and really difficult for you. Make your goal elite or executive, something that you can handle. I think I'm missing some chats here. Simple, manageable, achievable, relatable, time-bound. I knew someone would rescue me. Thank you, girls. Achievable, yep. Okay, so we've got the SMART goals there. doTERRA had it written in one of their pamphlets a while back, and I loved it. It's not a doTERRA thing. It's a very common thing, but it's very helpful to have something that's more specific and something that you can actually accomplish as your goal. And then the way that you reach your goal is to show up. Consistency is what I see most in successful leaders. Like, I see all kinds of different people around the table at the Canadian Diamond Breakfast or Canadian Diamond Summit. And these are women who have made diamond in their business, or blue, or presidential, and they're all different. They're all unique. Some of them are shy. Some of them are not outgoing people. They've built their business in their own way. Some people are eccentric. Some of them are loud. Some of them are this person that you're naturally attracted to. And some of them kind of hide in the corner more. They are more in the background, and they all have done it. And every time I'm at convention or leadership, I'm like, we are such a diverse group of people. But the common thread among the successful ones is that they keep going. They keep showing up. They keep doing the things. And so consistency is what we want to really work towards this year. We know we all do it. Excuses are very easy. It's a great way to sabotage your business if that's what you're looking to do. I love this Robin Sharma quote, that your excuses are just the lies your fears have sold you. Isn't that true? We're afraid of something. It scares the crap out of us. And so instead of tackling it head on, we come up with a reason, a really good reason, like it's valid. It seems like a completely worthwhile reason. But that justification doesn't make the excuse any better. So the encouragement here is to be stronger than your excuses. So I kind of wrote this as a post on Insta. And so I decided to include it here because I just love this concept that you can turn your very excuses, the things that hold you back, into your motivation. So a lot of common excuses would include things like, I don't have time, I can't afford it, I don't know enough people, I'm not good at meeting new people, I don't have childcare, I'm overcommitted, I'm unable to travel to big events. I don't have control over my own schedule. So maybe you still have a full-time job or have other things that are really demanding on your schedule. Your life isn't flexible. You can't take any time off work. You don't have enough money saved for retirement, which means you feel like you need your day job or your pension or whatever is that thing that keeps dangling in front of you, or you're not blank enough to do this. But if you think about it, these things could be not just reasons why you can't, but reasons why you have to. If you looked at all of these things and thought, I could actually solve them by being successful in my doTERRA business, I could have more time. I could have more money to invest and give back. I'm going to meet a ton of people through doTERRA. I will have childcare because I'll be able to have the finances and resources to be able to find it, right? You'll be able to let go of some commitments because you'll have the time freedom and the freedom in your schedule. So turn your excuses into your motivation. I hear people give me excuses on a regular basis as to what's not working and what's going on. And if we could do this mindset flip, it would be amazing. Not saying that's always easy, but I also wanted to point out that sometimes we do need to hustle more. Sometimes we need to push harder. We need to be more intentional. We need more grit. We need more strategy. We need to spend a lot of time invested in this season. You need to pull out all the stops and call in all the favors. But sometimes that's not what you need. Sometimes we can get really trapped in the doing that we forget about the ease of this business. I have learned this past year very powerfully that my business is more successful when I'm in alignment with my goals, with my higher power, with my inner teacher. When I feel that I am connected and I'm like really listening to what I'm supposed to be doing and what I'm not supposed to be doing, that things work easier. They just happen better. And maybe that sounds a little out there for you, but if you were passionately just doing what you love, building relationships online or in person, getting oils on people, talking about it on a regular basis, just because you love it, you're going to start seeing results without seeing all the like desperate grabbing, like host a class for me over and over and over again. Instead, you can move into this beautiful way of receiving from people and helping people, educating them, making sure that they're really well taken care of. And so I love the word flow because you'll just start to see things kind of unfold before you. And you will really experience this like sense of purpose that you are following what you're called to do. So when I ignore, for me, when I ignore God's leading in my life and I just try to do it my own way, I always get stopped up. I always feel like I am not able to accomplish what I want to accomplish. And I come up with blocks and stumble a lot. But when I listen, when I get quiet and I get more patient and I, ask to be guided, then I start to see these things happen. So think about what season you're in. Is it a season of strategy and push? As we head into February, we know it's likely a BOGO month, right? Are you in a season of hustle or are you in a season of flow? And identifying which your season you're in is a huge factor in becoming successful. And we're going to talk about a little bit more doTERRA specific seasons in a bit. All right. What does 2019 have in store for you? I hope you hear that and you're just like, all the things. I feel open and excited and ready. So if we want to see change in 2019, we have to make change. You'll never change your life until you change something you do daily. The secret of your success is found in your daily routine. This is so true. Over Christmas, I got really lazy and really unhealthy, and it for sure affected me into January. I was feeling not myself. I was feeling sluggish and unmotivated. And so I started, again, taking my supplements, making sure I was doing that, taking better care of myself, going to bed on time, waking up earlier. This really did help me to move into a season of feeling like I'm ready to go. Life can hit you. We had a lot of tragedies and emergencies happen in our family. I think I'm up to 5 things now that we've counted that have been happening. And so at the same time, I was like pushing to do better. And I realized that life was telling me to slow down too. And so that's where the self-care was like, okay, like if I'm going to be able to show up for my grieving family, I need to be able to be like healthy and rested and be able to take care of other people. So think about what kind of things you want to implement into your routine. I know it's hard to do all of these things all at once, but just these are some tips for you. Maybe some of them speak to you. Maybe you want to wake up really early, like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. early. Maybe you're somebody who wants to do like a miracle morning. This is a Tiffany Peterson idea where she will wake up and for 15 minutes, she'll do some gratitude journaling. She'll listen to like a podcast or do some self-development stuff. She'll do like a bit of movement, drink her water, those kinds of things. So yeah, just look through the list and kind of see what are some things you want to add, or come up with your own tips that you want to add to your daily routine. I promise it will help not just your business, but your overall health and well-being. We also know that the things that we believe deep down is what we attract. So I was just talking about this with one of my business partners, and she believes these things. She believes in the products, the opportunity, herself, her team, but at the same time had this hesitation. Like, she knew it was true for other people, but she wasn't sure if it was true for her. So do you know that this business is for real? And do you know that it is for you? That you're capable of achieving all the things that you want to achieve? If we don't believe in the products and we don't believe in the opportunity, people are going to see that in you. They're going to know that you don't believe the words you're saying. That you don't really think it's going to happen. And it does affect your level of attraction. It affects the way that people are drawn into you. Somebody who's like, guess what? I'm going to go to Presidential Diamond and I'm going to take all of you with me is more attractive than somebody who's like, well, Presidential would be nice, but nobody ever does that, right? It's a big difference. You want to jump on the train going in the right direction, and you're going to want to go with them. So your belief level matters to the people around you. We see this a lot in doTERRA. Some of you who've been around are very familiar with this concept. But at each rank, you'll kind of find yourself at a different level of belief. So typically as you're growing through to elite, the biggest thing that you're working on is proving that the products work, that they are reliable, that they are incredible, and that what doTERRA says is in that bottle is actually real. And it does make a difference in your body, right? So once you have that product knowledge down, then you'll move into being able to share that with your customers and teach them about it. And that's how you build through elite. Then the next one, Premier, is typically in doTERRA as a company. And I would say Premier Silver is opportunity. Then as you grow to Silver, you have to learn to believe in yourself. And as you grow through Gold and Platinum, it's less about you and more about your leaders. And you learn to believe in your team. And so when I was going Diamond, I remember this needing to really focus on my why and what I was building. And I see now that trying to figure out what my influence is is for sure the place where I'm stuck. I know my why. I know what I want to do and where I want to go, but I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to be influential. I don't know what that looks like yet, but we're getting there. You can find this. You can Google doTERRA belief levels if you want this graphic. So consistency and stability are hand in hand. They're partners. They go together. So if you are consistent, your business will be stable. But here's a couple other tips to maintain your stability. We see a lot of times that in our business, we have people who hit ranks and then fall back from ranks. That's normal, and you don't need to feel any sort of judgment on yourself if that's what's happening. That's very normal. Sometimes it takes a long time to solidify your rank, and that's okay. But if you want to get to a solid rank quicker, here's some things that you can do to make that happen. So make sure that you are always doing the daily, weekly, monthly things. So no matter what your goal is, you have to keep going. If you're like, oh, I don't have a goal for this month, which typically happens to people in January, me included, I didn't have a goal for January. I was like, well, let's see what happens. We'll teach a couple classes. It'll be great. But if you don't have a goal, you still have to do the things. You still have to keep teaching and sharing. It's if you take every single month that you think might be slow off, then the months where you think it's going to be good are going to be harder. And you won't see yourself hitting rank in the slow months. So another part of that is taking really good care of your customers. If your customers are happy and ordering, then your business is going to have this beautiful level residual income that we know and love in doTERRA, that retention rate. I also want you to include in your rank sustainability, part of getting there is going to events. I know that a lot of people disassociate those two things. They think, well, events are for personal development. They have nothing to do with my rank. But I promise you that when you're developing who you are, you feel like you're a part of something, you feel like you belong to something, you develop friendships and community, and you come back from an event, you feel motivated and you feel excited, and you have this new level of belief in your business, it's going to impact the way that you talk and share about your business. So even just me going to Guatemala with doTERRA to learn about the cardamom farming process has completely changed the way that I speak about healing hands in my classes. And I really think it's improved to the point where I can share that so authentically and so confidently. I know that stuff because I've been there and I've seen it. And so getting to an event is the best way to increase your knowledge on these things and your belief. Now, the last one is something I really want to perpetuate on our team. I don't want to be a BOGO team. I don't want us to always consider every single time we want to rank up, we're going to do it in a BOGO month because it's easier. If you want to be a solid rank, you want to hit it outside of BOGOs, because then the second time you hit it, maybe it's a BOGO month, it will be easier to do it because you didn't need such a volume gap or volume boost rather to make sure that it happened. So we have often perpetuated this idea that we push for ranks in a BOGO month. And I really want you guys to consider setting goals outside of those months so that your hustle happens in that month. And then your LRPs and your BOGO volume will make hitting your rank a second time, stabilizing it, will be a lot easier. You can kind of just enjoy BOGO month rather than going crazy. So I was talking to Marie Kim. She is a double blue diamond in Canada, and she's never gone backwards in rank. Not once. Not at elite, not at diamond, not at blue, prez, double diamond, double blue. She's never gone back. And so I asked her about it, and she said her team never hits rank in a BOGO month. She doesn't let them hit rank in BOGO months for the first time. And they plan for it. So they know what their volume will potentially look like in a month. And they know how many classes they have to teach, and they just do it. It was a really impressive conversation. And I was like, well, we're a little bit different on our team. We're maybe not as intense as you guys, but we can for sure learn stuff from them and what they're doing over there. I hit diamond in June. So for those of you who are newer, June is a slow month. It's not a BOGO month. For me, I didn't even consider that it was June, that it would be hard. We had a good promo. It was a 200 PV promo month. So I thought, oh, this is going to be easy. And it was hard. It was not an easy month. I enrolled 27 people to hit diamond for the first time, but I did it. And then when July came around, it made it a lot easier to go diamond again. Okay, so let's take a look at some stuff that's happening in 2019, because I think if you get a really good picture of the year, you can make some plans. There, in this, you will notice a couple of announcements of exciting stuff that is coming. So January is typically like a cleanse and restore month, or February. Ange runs her Essential 30 cleanse in February. So usually the beginning of the year, you're going to be teaching your customers about cleansing in some way. You can do it yourself, or you can add them to groups that are happening. January has Diamond Club applications, so that was due January 15th. If you want to do Diamond Club, you can apply for the fall one now. And incentive trip is happening. It's actually happening this week. So usually January, February. The people who won the incentive trip are going on the trip. February is typically a BOGO month, and February is a really great time to run some sort of promo yourself for your customers or together with your team. So you can do like a spoil yourself. A lot of people are doing Kelly's. A lot of you guys are on Kelly's team who are on this call, or Lindsay is also running one as well. And I forget what hers is called. Health, regain your health, something. And she's giving out like a keychain filled with oils. It's 10 oils for $10. Or Kelly's doing samples for customers, and you're giving them out and then doing some product education together. So it's a great time to sample people, to do some sort of promo. Maybe it's like a Valentine's Day promo or program. Kirschbaum's have a great one called Essential Emotions, and they run a 7-day little event, and those graphics and stuff are already done for you. It would be plug and play. The reason February is such a great month to run something like that is to get your customers re-engaged right before BOGOs, and also to kind of get your momentum going for the spring season. March is our leadership retreat, so silver leaders and above head to either West Coast or East Coast leadership retreat. This year it's in Atlanta or San Diego, and I will be heading to Atlanta. And typically after leadership retreat, they announce that the incentive trip contest starts. So in order to win points to go on the 2020, that sounds weird, 2020, I can't believe that's coming already, incentive trip will start in March. That means you can start enrolling people, and I think I'm frozen. Am I frozen for you guys, or are you guys just frozen for me? Can somebody chat and make sure that it's still working? Oh, good. Thank you. Okay. Incentive, everybody else's videos have frozen, so I wanted to make sure I'm not talking to nobody. That happens sometimes. Working. Thank you, guys. All right, April. I haven't announced it yet. I'm going to put a post together soon, but I'm really excited that we are bringing back Rise Up. So Rise Up was a 3-day training event that me and my friends Erica Lucas and Jennifer Bittner ran, and we invited diamond speakers from all across Southern Ontario, and a couple from Utah came and spoke and shared with us some awesome tips for building our business. And I heard from so many people after that event. Last year it was in February. This year we decided to do it in April. We heard from so many people that it was really helpful for them. So we're really excited to do that again with new and different speakers. May, I did not know what to write. The past few years, we've had an enrollment promo that may or may not happen. Last year was Share a Drop, where you would get 50 PV and your enrollees would get 50 PV for when they spend 100. Who knows what the promo will be, but I'm going to show you some of the promos that have run the past couple of years so you can maybe help predict what's going to happen. June is Diamond Club qualification start. It's also usually a 200 PV promo month. So is March. March, June, and September and December usually are. Then July is another BOGO month, typically. And I also host a premier dinner. So anyone who hits premier in the spring and summer gets to come for a dinner with me and some of my awesome friends. Then August, you may notice we have written down Elite Retreat. How many of you guys are excited to do another Elite Retreat this year? So we talked about it a lot today to make sure we figured out exactly what month would be best. We would have loved to do a spring Elite Retreat, but we just could not find a good date between all of the collaborators. So we decided to move it to August, which is typically the slowest doTERRA month. And we thought it'd be really good pump up for fall season. Yeah, Meg, last year was amazing. So we really hope it will be something that excites people again. So basically, if you hit Elite within a certain qualification period, I believe we're going to do February to June. Then you would be invited to attend a weekend retreat with us for relaxing and training as well for free. And then we're working on how to get your uplines there as well. We're going to have some silver and above speakers come and share. And we do not have a venue or a date, but we will get back to you on that very soon. We're working on it. And convention in September. Also, I didn't know what to write in October. November is another BOGO month. The holiday guide comes out. Typically your biggest volume month of the year. December is holiday products, the silver and gold party, and Diamond Club qualification starts for January. So look at the calendar. Oh, and don't forget to mention, of course, Leadership Legacy happens every month. I didn't want to write it on there every time. But the second Tuesday of every month, we're in Niagara. The third Tuesday of every month, we're in Burlington. And if you live nowhere near those places, you have no excuse because we do a live stream. So you're welcome to join us online as well. So if you want to take a screenshot of this as well and just get an idea of what's going on this year, do that. Feel free. Or make your own cute little calendar and start to plan what you're going to be doing when you're going to be rolling out things for your customers, things for your team, things to go along with some of these events, stuff like that. We're going to plan it. This is taken from Kyle and Kirsten Kirschbaum. They have a really cool little packet, an ebook, I guess, that they put out called, what do they call it? Create a record-breaking year. So they wrote down what the promos were in the past, which kind of gives you a cool look at to what could be coming in the months to come. So 2018, however, is not included in here because this was a booklet that they released last year. And some of these are different from 2018. So these are for sure not a guarantee. But you'll notice May 2017 had an enrollment promo. It was the Share a Drop promo. But the year before, it was a 200 PV promo. The Breathe promo was May and June. So it's something you can kind of check over and kind of plan your months and your year accordingly. I really like this specific thing from the Create a Record-Breaking Year. And I put the link here. I can pop the link in with the recording when I post it if you guys want to take a look at it. You can actually see the whole ebook that they put together. But they basically show you what your seasons should look like in a year. So January through May, all you want to focus on are primarily you want to be focusing on enrolling, rank advancing, and duplicating leadership. I thought that was really powerful. Like if the first half of the year is really front heavy, loaded with teaching your team to do what you're doing and continuing to enroll in rank advance, then the rest of your year will be a lot easier. You'll really kickstart that momentum. June, they put in a little half circle for rest and refocus, along with enrolling in rank advancing. And then July, you'll see personal development, rest, and refocus, which is interesting because it's a BOGO month. So if you've set up the first half of your year to be full and created tons of momentum, you can actually rest in BOGO month rather than go insane in BOGO month. It kind of flips the way you maybe have thought about that. August, focus on your leaders again and getting them prepared for an awesome fall season and also personal development. Then September, October, November brings back the enrolling in rank advancing and duplicating leadership in October, November. And then December is rest and refocus. So I just love this little graphic. They have this little caveat there, little disclaimer. Just because you are doing one doesn't mean you aren't doing the others. It just means you're going to prioritize your focus. That's a good thing to point out. So if you guys want to check that out, I can actually go to the page really quick if you want to see it. It's pretty cool booklet because there's a lot more than just these calendars. They also have some worksheets in there. Oh, my internet is so slow. It's not loading. Sorry about that. There's some great worksheets. You can fill out the information right there. Oh, well. Not loading. I live in the country. That's what happens sometimes. So we know without a doubt that consistency is a huge part of this business. 80% of success is showing up. So show up for yourself, show up for your business, show up for your customers. Just continue to be there. When you hide and you doubt who you're meant to be and who you are to share this message, you stop showing up, then your contacts actually stop. They kind of forget, they forget who you are. They forget about the oils and things will slowly die out. So showing up is so important for your whole network. And that's kind of my main goal for this year, is to continue to show up and to be really consistent. And I love that we don't do it alone in this business. You are never pushing for a goal by yourself. There's always somebody above or below you who can help you. And it's a lot easier when you can enlist this business with a bunch of friends. So develop that mindset that you are going for Presidential Diamond. You're going to take all your best friends with you and then share it with them. Riding a tandem bike is a lot easier, especially if you ride with my husband who does all the work. It's pretty sweet. All right, guys, that's my whole chat for tonight. We have a couple more minutes left. If anyone wants to ask a question, just unmute yourself first so I can hear you talking. Any questions about the events that are happening this year? Anybody? It also seems frozen again. While we're waiting, there is another call next Monday at the same time. Brittany McDonald is going to chat with us. She was supposed to do her call this week, and I was supposed to do my call last week, and we just kind of shifted things a little bit. Just to make you aware of that. Okay, you guys, are you sure there's no questions?